Hello everyone, I am Platypus 2.0, and we're back playing some more We Happy Few. So, yesterday was a bit of a shorter episode, and today is also going to be a bit of a shorter episode. We are eventually going to go finish off the odds and ends, and we're going to finish off, looks like rain. But what we're going to be doing today is something that I've been pretty against. Like, in the entirety of me playing this game, which, for those of you who've been around for a while, you know what this is. For those of you who are relatively new, well, it comes down to this. It's lore. I find the lore interesting, but I'm not interested in reading it. If that makes any sense at all. It probably doesn't. In case you're wondering what we're doing right now, is we are heading to the safe house, which is, lo and behold, it's right here. We're going to eat a little something. We're going to get our water up, and we are actually going to go into the safe house. We're actually going to go in there. I know, it sounds crazy. But what we're going to do is, today is all about the lore. I'm probably going to sound pretty bored at times. We're going down here just to ensure that there's no... That's annoying. There's no door. I can't close that. Alright, so that noise is coming from over there. So let's stand over here. We're doing it in the safe house just so that there's no real way that a wastrel could end up attacking us. Alright. So we're going to start with tie a string. 4th October, 1964, to Dr. Rupert Underhill, Station 4. From Jim Waite, Chief Engineer. Dear Rupert, are you quite certain Teddy's off his joy? Perhaps he merely forgot. You've got to look after your mates, man. Have you tried tying a string around his finger? That always helps. Anyway, I can't reassign Teddy because I haven't got a replacement. All the juniors are off at Scargill. The subsidence has been serving all sorts of connections, and the motoline must flow. I really appreciate your sticking by your post. If we don't do our duty, who are we? But try the string around the finger. I feel certain you will manage the situation. All my best, Jimmy. And you know what? That, I have no idea where this is from. I've now realized that a lot of these that I'm going to be reading, I don't actually know when I picked them up. So that is going to make this better. I'm going to pretend like this tie a string is the one we picked up here in this safe house, the very first one. And it makes sense. The motoline must flow. We're in the air, like in the safe house. There's a lot of motoline flowage, if that makes any sense at all to you. So Rupert and Teddy. Okay. His body is just gone. So I can't actually check and see. But we're going to pretend like that's true. All right. Prayer to the horned god. Cernunos Herne, I pray you, destroy my fear, destroy my sorrow, destroy my confusion, destroy injustice around me and in me. Let me be worth of you. I'm going to go on a limb and say this is one of the ones I picked up from inside of the mysterious chest, because there's a witch involved in that, and a lot of this sounds like things a witch would say. Church services. To whomever opens this missive, dear fellow Wellingtonian, for are we not all still fellow citizens of Wellington Wells? Good news, God has not forsaken us. He is still with us, even amidst the rubble of all these wastelands. Do not take our present suffering as a sign of his abandonment, for he tested his only son even to his mortal limit. Like Job, or probably Job, let us never lose faith. For there are those who turn aside from his love, who have given their faith to witchcraft, or to the most outlandish of vegetable idols, or even demons of unspeakable shape. Do not succumb to these delusions. Where there is faith, there is redemption, and if you've lost hope in this life, then all the more should you prepare for the next. Let us gather Sunday at noon on the bridge to Lud's home and make ourselves a congregation. Yours in Christ, Reverend Charles Peter, formerly of St. George's Church. All right, well, I'm going to go on. This has to be one of the ones that I've picked up from the trash. We already talked about the witchcraft from the mysterious chest. The most outlandish of vegetable idols. We know what that is. That's the altar of the yam and the holy yam, or even demons of unspeakable shape. That one, I'm not. No, you know what? That would be Mystery House. Boom. All right. Done. I'm going to go on a limb and guess that in the final version of the game, St. George's Church is going to be a place we can go to, and Reverend Charles Peter, we're either going to find his body or we're going to find him, and I'm going to hope that there is a quest where we can either choose to aid him in his desire to destroy all the delusions, or we can, take him out and be cool. Yeah, okay, so church services, boom. Diary of Theodore Minor. September 18th. I look into the lights like the doctor's orders. I could swear I see shapes in there, moving around, like shadows, but made of light. And there's shadows all around. Always around the corner. He keeps turning lights off. Says he wants to save the bulbs. He's trying to make me think I'm going blind, isn't he? How he loves to feel superior. September 19th. I took 2 joy, just so I could stand his ugly face. Why won't it work? Has he swapped them out for something? Paracetamol? Jelly beans? Jesus, we haven't had jelly beans since. Have we ever had jelly beans? September 20th. I hate when he talks in that slow, condescending voice like I'm a child. I'm not a child, am I? I don't even know any children. Obviously. Jesus, what is wrong with my joy? September 22nd. There he is, scritching away in the corner. Scribble, 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 eh, Mr. Gibson? And then the whoosh of the pneumatic tube. He's blaming it all on me. What happened, isn't he? He says it's his missus. I don't believe he's still got a missus. With his big mousy teeth, I bet she went on holiday long ago. Was I married once? How did it end? I get an awful feeling in my stomach. I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy remembering. Something is all fucked up about the joy, and he won't send me home. We've got to stay here. Duty. September 25th. I can hear him crunching in the dark. It isn't rats. It's his big mossy teeth. I lie awake and picture squeezing his throat till he turns the color of my carrots he bloody well stole. He's plotting something. September 28th. Let him try to weasel out of this one. I saw him writing those lies. Reassign me, Willie. Off my joy, am I? I'm bloody well tripling up, and he knows it. October 6th. We've come to the end of our time. Okay. Diary of Theodore Minor. So I feel like this is one of the ones that we picked up. I could be wrong here, but we picked up from doing the If You Give a Pig a Pancake, because there's the 3 people up there, and I feel like Theodore Minor was one of the ones up there. And this is just a guy who's probably taken some kind of like adverse reaction to the joy. That's why there's so many people in the Garden District, right? Either they took it off or the joy turned them cray, or it didn't work. Blah 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 blah. I mean, obviously this person said, I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy remembering, so the joy did work in that it took care of their memory of all the bad things. But yeah, this guy he went off his rocker over a period of time. Poor guy. Sally's old toy car. Heavens, that's Sally's toy car. This is our tree, isn't it? We'd sneak out at night to smoke here, and she'd make up stories about how we'd be spies and zip round in our powder blue Austin Healey. Of course she'd look fabulous in a white leather catsuit, and I'd be the one in a suit with a bowler hat and umbrella. At least it was a sword umbrella in her stories. Once we took some of those magic mushrooms, and Sally wouldn't stop crying, but she for once let me comfort her, and all those memories came up for me about Mom and how nice things were before the war. I wonder if I ate some here some night, would it jar some of the old memories loose? Some of the good ones? I wish I could remember more. We know what this one is. This is the beginning of Walkabout, where Mom's ghost appears. So nice things were before the war, and because of the time frame we've already seen, and I feel like I've read about it too, or maybe someone commented about it, but like I can't remember if you are the person who commented or you know what I'm talking about, just like back me up here. But like I feel like what we're like the world in which We Happy Few exists is if I had to guess, because of how awful things are. World War II, I feel like Germany kind of kicked London's ass. And since the war ended, maybe the joy was created by the Germans or by Britain as a way to be like, well, isn't it better to just forget what happened? Of course, a lot of things probably went wrong in that regard. Next one. Miss Marley's letter. Dearest Archie, I doubt you'll ever read this, darling, but if you do, please forgive me. I know you wanted me to wait for the fourth flavor, but I couldn't. The vomiting was bad enough, but the memories came back. They began screaming every day, all day, and the steam whistle and those horrible, huge steel wheels every day. No, I still hear them out there, but it's quiet. If you talk to them a bit, they quiet down, even though you know they're lying to them. And they know it. It's a ghost town here, and the streets are crowded with ghosts. Most of them are friends. But there is a little to eat. I'd hoped to make my money last a bit longer, but I put it in a safe for keeping and I've lost my key. You'd mock me for a silly woman, but I haven't eaten in days. I think if I can get the safe up to the roof, I can drop it onto the pavement, and if all goes well, it will break open. I wish you were here to help. You're so good mechanically. So we do know this one. This is the, was it Bring Out Your Dead, or... We had to check Miss Marley's body. We picked up this letter, so Archie either is somewhere still in... I can't remember. I think it's the Garden District, this one. But is either somewhere still in the Garden District or... who knows? But, like, yeah, she was obviously offered joy. And, like, we don't have to really beat around the bush here. She pushed her safe off the roof, probably fell with it, and she died trying to get the food and the money that was inside. If only Archie had been there, she might have lasted. Vector. October 5th, Dr. Robin Bryan, St. Michael's Hospital, IO2, The Parade, Wellington Wells. My dearest Dr. Bryan, I spotted what appears to be a full-blown plague in the Garden District. Of course, my colleagues and I immediately resolved the matter. I don't suppose anyone could have got across the Ludholm Bridge. It would be well to check. Assuming that Vector is still shut off, we must consider the plague to be possibly waterborne. In that case, dumping the bodies of the victim in the river needs to cease forthwith. Don't you think? It's bad enough that what already gets through the filters at the water plant. Hopefully we've nipped this outbreak in the bud. If not, we'll need to equip the constables with gas masks on eel pie as well. Yours very truly. Steer? I actually have no idea what that... Because, Mr., Mrs., Doctor, Senior, Junior... That doesn't look like any of those. So, John Keats, MD. Alright, so, oh god, go back to Vector. So, I'm assuming Vector is something we're going to end up being able to turn on and off. Turn on, at the very least. Yeah, I know I feel tired. Shut up, game. God, I'm in the middle of doing lore. Get off my back. God. So this doctor probably did not get what he wanted. But I know one of you mentioned that the water was bad. Because the bodies of the victims, blah, 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 blah. So, hey, backing it up. And we do see the constables with gas masks on at night. And assumably, whenever we get to whatever... So, Eel Pie must be an island we might be able to visit. Otherwise, why would they say we need to equip the constables with gas masks on Eel Pie as well? So, probably they went through a whole bunch of troubles, and I hope that we can meet John Keats, MD, at some point in the future. That'd be really cool. I also think it would be interesting if we could meet Dr. Robin Bryan as well. And, like, I want to know what this vector thing is. I want to be able to go to it. All right. On to the next one. Dear Uncle Jack. Dear Jack, forgive a total stranger writing you, but I feel after all these years as if I know you better than I know many of the people in my family. To me, you're no longer Uncle Jack. You're Jack. I can see that you're a good, kind man full of love and laughter. But Jack, I can tell that you are no fulfilled. Lately, there have been an edge in your voice, as if you know something is missing. Jack, I can tell that you are alone in this world. It is not fair that you, who have done so much to make us all feel so less lonely, should have no girl who loves you best of all. Jack, I know this is terribly forward, but I want to be that girl. I know I could make you personally happy. Please write back and let me know if you could let me prove it to you. You deserve all the good things. I love you, Fiona Slaymaker. That's, first off, an amazing last name. So obviously I want to meet everybody who's in all of these notes. So we have to at some point meet. We know who Uncle Jack is. He's the voice. He's the guy in the TVs in the St. George's Home or Hamelin Village. So Fiona Slaymaker. I feel like Dear Uncle Jack is one of the ones I've picked up via the garbage cans. So if she was indeed here in the Garden District, or in Lud's home for that matter, she wrote this off the Joy and has probably put it into the garbage can thinking that that was some kind of post box, because, you know, she's off for Joy. She does not remember that garbage can equals garbage. But this is just kind of makes me feel weird. Like, he probably also heard me, like, I can see you're a good and kind man full of love and laughter. Well, don't know if I quite believe that now, do I? All right, onward. Letter from Helen Faraday. Thanks for all your help. You'll go far one day, which is more I can say for these other idiots. You'll need the gate key. It's 1492. So, we do know what this one is. This is the one that we picked up after Faraday, like, basically teleported herself elsewhere. I'm really curious about, like, the final version of the game, because I'm hoping we get a chance to actually see and talk to her again. That would be interesting to be like, what the fuck, Helen? Like, come on. Really? Why you gotta be a dick like that? And she'll be like, I'm Helen Faraday. And he'll be like, ah, bitch. And she'll be like, yeah, well. So yeah, we don't, and that we haven't in this playthrough seen what that code is for, but we have seen what it's before, if that makes any sense at all. Kind of came out stupid, but I'm gonna go with it. All right. Diary of Guy Burgess. It's all in my head, it's all in my head, it's all in my head. A chemical reaction, that's all. Dr. Verloc says so, and he's an expert. If this hungers my imagination, maybe my memory is too. Oh God, please let it be just my imagination. More joy. I just need more joy. Then maybe I didn't do it. Not really. Not the way I remember it. Please, God. So the Diary of Guy Burgess. That name sounds familiar to me, but we also do know who Dr. Verloc is. He's a pretty bad guy. Because if we go to the desk of Dr. Verloc, I'm guessing the desk, or like the diary, he was one of the first people maybe testing the joy, or maybe someone who was on like the first blah blah blah, but he did something, and the joy has made him hopefully forget. But he's, well, that one's that's a tough one to crack. Dr. Guy Burgess, 5, the Circus, Maidenholm, Wellington Wells. We've never been to Maidenholm. I wonder if that's a place we're going to get to go. Dear Dr. Burgess, thank you for your recent letter. The symptoms you describe, anxiety, guilt, and hunger, all ordinary signs of joy withdrawal. I assure you that your troubles are all in your head, or more precisely in your brain chemistry, even though they may feel very real to you. If switching to another flavor of joy has not helped, you may be entitled to receive personalized care at Haworth Labs. Any doctor can arrange your passage to our facility for the appropriate testing. Yours sincerely, Dr. A. Verloc, Haworth Labs, Haworth Street, Holm of Uskglass, Wellington Wells. So there we go. We have another place that we could potentially visit, which is, of course, Hotworth Labs. Aw, yeah. And the home of Usclass. That must be a new island. It just has to be. I refuse to believe otherwise. So, compulsion games? Make it so. So, yeah. I'm going to guess that the diary of... So, Guy Burgess is, obviously, off his joy. And that's a problem. Excuse me. So the personalized care at Howard Labs kind of freaks me out a bit. And any doctor can arrange your passage for the appropriate testing. More like you need to be locked away. I feel like they're actually just being... He's going to go there. It's not going to work. And he's... You know who Guy Burgess is? He's one of the first people ever who was just sent to the Garden District. Boom. Figured it out. Next one. Things I remember. Boozoo. That wasn't his name. It was just what we called him. Mom used to call him an English curbside setter because he would sit by the curb. We were so hungry. We sort of had a cat. She visited anyway. We called her Anne Bonny because she'd lost an eye. I don't know who Anne Bonny is. I'm assuming that's someone who only has one eye. She got very skinny and then she was gone. Neighbors wouldn't look at us for days. So the neighbors ate the cat or killed it. Lovely neighbors. I lived on English Combe Lane next to the Royal Dragon. I still hate the smell of beer. I had a sister, Beth. She liked hugs, and she would show them to me. I liked bugs, and she liked bugs, and she would show them to me to make me scared. I worried about her ever getting married. I wonder if she ever did get married. Where they took her, she'd be 25 now. Dad died at Ramsgate when they landed the first time. He was a hero, they told Mom. All I can remember is things I've lost. I wish I could still take joy. So this is just someone... This has to be another one of the garbage pickups. So this is just someone who got a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and just went off on the memories that they obviously do not want. But we did get a few places. Ramsgate, so I wonder if we'll get to visit there. English Combe Lane and Royal Dragon. So Royal Dragon must be a bar. And was there it? No, that's it. Okay, things I remember, more like things you wish you couldn't. Bridge. Dear committee members, it's a lovely day for it. We are ransacking the last of the old Victory Gardens. There might be enough potatoes in the entire garden district to last 2 weeks. Do you plan to starve us all to death? If you have no food to spare, could you at least open the bridge so we can try our luck in the wilderness? I'd rather die by a bandit's hand than starve. It's so much more glamorous. Your former neighbors, Colin Drysdale, Elliot Fitzloyd, and Chris Fox. So these people, because we've heard about the committee members before. They're like the ones that make, like, you know, all the decisions all the time. Well, so these people obviously did not go. Maybe they did get what they want, because they want to actually go to the Garden District, which is, you know, the place for downers and those off their joy. So maybe they did go, maybe they did die, or maybe all these people are still in the Garden District. And you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to go searching for all of them. I am sorry. This was boring enough for me as it was without putting in the additional, like, searching for these people that may or may not actually be here. That is it for this episode. We did a bunch of lore. Yay! Yahoo! We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We did 13 lore, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to do one more thing. We are actually going to do 4. Was that 13? We're going to do 14. That's right. It sounds crazy, but it's true. Because there is one more place that we can read. Some of you might know what's coming. But this. I have no idea. Damelin? Yeah. Oh. The banner band. Nah, I got nothing. October 19th, 1964. Late edition. All right. Everybody wins. Everybody's a winner at Simon Says. The Hamlet Village Weekly Simon Says game offered more than the usual excitement last Friday. I'm going to guess game was reaching its usual fever pitch with contestants stopping or popping out left and right when suddenly alert villagers noted a small squad of wastrels sneaking out from the direction of the garden district. They were presumably taking advantage of the absence of villagers from their homes and shops in order to steal into town and, well, steal. As everyone knows, there is no something for wastrels to eat, blah, blah, blah. The hue and cry went up, and the entire village chased after these joyless malcontents who escaped into the river and were never seen again, so they're dead. So although no prize could be awarded, since no one could remember who was still in the game, everyone was a winner. The break-ins seemed to have resulted from a temporary failure in a diagnostic kiosk on the bridge. The kiosk has been fixed, so future games of Simon Says can go ahead undisturbed. Interesting. So we do know what's going on that, because that's actually one of the quests to get to Ludsholm Bridge. Or, sorry, to St. George's Holm, with the gate there. Who won Simon Says. It's too bad. It would be interesting if they could make it in the future that you actually just open this up and you know how to get to the next island without having to go to Ludsholm, but that's fine. Miss Sackville wins garden prize. That looks familiar to me, and I don't know why. Miss Freya Sackville has won the Lancelot Brown prize for her lovely flower garden on Prior Park Road. Miss Sackville can often be found in the garden, weeding and pruning and enjoying our lovely English weather. I adore company, says Mrs. Sackville. If any fellow gardeners want to help me out or just tell me the latest while I potter about, well, I hope she'll drop by. I always keep a teapot handy for visitors. Okay. Ludsholm to reopen shortly. Beatrice Sackville, probably a relative of Miss Freya Sackville, of the Wellington Wells Executive Committee, has let us know that the renovation of Ludsholm is almost complete. I am told the painters are putting the finishing touches on the street, and we should be able to throw open the gates before the leaves fall, enthused Miss Sackville. According to Miss Sackville, the opening festivities will include a performance by the St. George's Church Choir, an interpretive dance performance by something else, James Maxwell, and a trumpet voluntary performed by the Wellington Wells Police Department Brass Band. Miss Sackville brushed off the notion there is anyone currently living on Ludsholm. Of course there are workers. There are from time to time, fixing the pipes and so forth, and if anyone was hiding on the few houses they haven't fully restored, I am sure there would be reports. Mrs. Sackville urges her fellow citizens not to attempt to jump the gun on the festivities, as the paint is still wet and it will spoil the surprise. Interesting. A little bit of a lie there, I think, from Miss Sackville. Paint still wet? Sure. All right. Foggy Jack continues non-existence streak. Chief Inspector Robert Peters states that Foggy Jack is now in his 10th unbroken year of not existing. As at a medal ceremony for the police, the Chief Inspector commemorated the continued nullity of the alleged nighttime murderer with a speech. We have been telling the public for exactly 10 years now that Foggy Jack is a complete non-entity, and yet people keep coming in to tell us that they saw him. And then I don't know if there's more, but precisely none of the constabulary have run across this vaporous individual in all those years, and if anyone's going to see him up close, it would be our brave lads. Foggy Jack must, of course, not be confused with our dear Uncle Jack, connections, who continues to exist, as can be seen on any television set from morning till night. If the populace, I'm going to guess would, kindly spend the remaining, paying attention Uncle Jack's bedtime stories rather than watching the shadows move, they'd know they'd have nothing to worry about, states Peters. At the same medal ceremony, Constable John Constable. That's so annoying. What if I click with my mouse? No, that doesn't change anything. For the Arthur, is that us? For the Medal of Valor for efforts to subdue a particularly vicious downer. Constable has, so his name is Constable. So I can't read the rest of that, or rather I could, I'm not going to. All right, so there we go. That is all the lore I have found in this particular playthrough, including the newspaper. So there's a lot of things in there that you can glean from that. Feel free to comment and tell me if you think what I said is right or wrong, or if what I said is just dumb. That would be great. That is going to be it for this episode, everyone. We did it. We did a boring-ass lore episode. Huzzah, yippee. Tomorrow, we're going to be going to St. George's Home. We're going to be finishing off those 2 quests, and we're also going to be going on a bit of a stealing spree because I want to explore all the rich people's homes and see if I can actually find like the inventory extenders, because that would be helpful, because like the lack of inventory is really stupid. Before, in one of the older updates when I first started playing, I think before I started doing this Let's Play, you could get one in the safe house, the first safe house, and that was great because it gave you a bit of help off the top, of course, to make it harder, and because Compulsion Games hates us, they took that away. It's a shame. What can you do? I don't know. Do you? Me neither. That's going to be it for this episode, everyone. If you liked this video, hit the like button. It really does help out a lot. And if you'd like to see more videos by me, subscribe. That'll keep you in the loop for all future content. Until tomorrow, I'll see you later.